Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 5, Chapter 19. We are on Text 8. We are hearing the glories of Bharatvarsh, the planet called Bharatvarsh. Suro Surovapi Athava Naro Naraha
Survapi athava naru naraha
Sarvatmanaya Sukritakyam Uttamam
sarvatmanaya sukrityam uttamam
Vajetaramam Manuja Kritim Harim
bhajetaramam manugya kritim harim
Ya Uttaran Anyat Koshalan Divam Iti.
ya uttaran anayat koshalan divam iti.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, whether one is a demigod or a demon, a man or a creature other than a man, such as a beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears on this earth just like a human being. We were hearing the prayers of Hanumanji in Kim Purushlo. There is no need of great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. Thus he is satisfied. And as soon as he is satisfied, the devotee is successful. Indeed, Lord Sri Ramchandra brought all the devotees of Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha. Lord Sri Ramchandra is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he is very easily satisfied by a little service rendered by anyone, human or not. This is the special advantage of worshipping Lord Ramchandra. And there is the same advantage in worshipping Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Krishna and Lord Ramchandra, in the manner of Kshatriya, sometimes showed them mercy by killing asuras. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awarded love of God without difficulty even to the asuras. So here Hanumanji is praying that, we can easily serve Lord Ram just by a little service. Don't even have to be a human being. Doesn't matter. Be a demigod, a demon, beast, bird. Everyone can please Lord Ram. No one needs to do great austerities. Just a small service. He's satisfied. We can see, it's not that God wants us to do great things materially or, put too much stress on ourselves. No, just a little bit of loving service. God is happy with us. So Prabhupada is pointing out that Lord Krishna and Lord Ramchandra, they were playing the part of Kshatriyas. So they killed the demons. But Lord Chaitanya, he's so kind. He came in the form of a devotee. What he did is instead of killing the demon, he killed the demoniac tendency in a person. And he gave love of God to everyone without considering whether one is suitable for it or no. He's freely giving love of God. Take Krishna Prema, whoever wants it. All the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but especially Lord Ramchandra, Lord Krishna, and later Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, delivered many of the living entities present before them. Indeed, almost all of them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore represented in the six-armed form of Sadbhuj Murti, which is a combination of Lord Ramchandra, Lord Krishna, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya, he exhibited his six-armed form, Sadbhuj. He showed his six arms. combination of Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The best purpose of human life can be fulfilled by worshipping the Sadbhuj Murti, the form of the Lord with 6 arms, 2 arms of Ramchandra, 2 arms of Krishna, and 2 arms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is he holding in these 6 arms? Does anyone know? The Lord, he's holding, as Krishna, he's holding the flute. Neha, you saying something? Can't hear you. Still can't hear. Is anyone else able to hear? Neha?
No, we can't hear Neha.
Can't, right?
I
No.
just heard some noise from her background, but I didn't hear her.
So yeah, I'm not sure, Neha, what's wrong.
Hare
We're not
Krishna,
able to.
Shilpa ji, it is Hare Krishna.
Now.
It is
Yeah,
the
now.
2 of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu holding the danda and the kamandal. Then Lord Ramchandra holding the bow, and Lord Krishna holding the flute. So they have the 2 arms, green color of Sri Ramchandra, 2 arms golden of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then 2 blue of Sri Krishna. It's a very, very famous picture. What you were saying, the Shad one, the 6 arms. It's a very, very famous Gaudiya. Yeah, this picture is very popularly there. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So this goes to show that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord himself. He's non-different from Krishna, non-different from Lord Ram. That's how he's able to exhibit this form. Bhartepi Varshe Bhagwan Nara Narayanakhya Akalpantam Upachita Dharma Jnana.
Bharate api varshe Bhagavan Nara Narayana Akalpantam Upachita Dharma Jnana.
Vairagya Aishwaryo Pashamo Paramatmo Palambhanam.
Vairagya Shwaryo Pashamo Paramatmo Palambam.
Anugrahayatmavatam Anukampaya Tapo Vyaktagatischarati.
Anugrahayatmavatam Anukampaya Tapo Vyaktagatischarati.
Sukadev Goswami continued, the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are inconceivable. He has appeared in the form of Narayan in the land of Bharatvarsh at the place known as Badrikashram to favor his devotees by teaching them religion, knowledge, renunciation, spiritual power, sense control, and freedom from false ego. He is advanced in the opulence of spiritual assets, and he engages in executing austerity until the end of this millennium. This is the process of self-realization. People in India may visit the temple of Nar Narayan at Badrikashram just to learn how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his incarnation as Nar Narayan, engages in austerities to teach the people of the world how to achieve self-realization. So Badrikashram, Nar Narayan Rishi is there. It is impossible to realize oneself simply by absorbing oneself in speculation and material activities. One must be very serious about self-realization and the practice of austerity. So they are Narnarayan Rishi, what Narnarayan Rishi is engaging in austerity. So unfortunately, the people of this age of Kali do not even know the meaning of austerity. It's true, no? Where we'll go to the forest or to the mountains to do some austerity. under the circumstances, the Lord has appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to bestow upon the fallen souls the easiest method of self-realization, technically called Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing of the dirt from the core of one's heart. This method is extremely simple. Anyone can chant the glorious Krishna Sankirtan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this age, there are different forms of so-called advanced scientific knowledge, such as anthropology, Marxism, Freudianism, nationalism, and industrialism. But if we work very hard under their guidance, instead of adopting the process practiced by Narayan, we shall waste our valuable human form of life. Thus, we shall certainly be cheated and misled. So there are so many isms here in our material world that we have. To name a few, Srila Prabhupada is pointing: nationalism, industrialism, anthropology, Marxism. But instead of following that, what we are advised to do, Lord Chaitanya is giving us this advice. Kali Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And anyone can chant, everyone can chant. Anywhere, everywhere, one can chant. By chanting, the heart gets cleaned and one can get self-realized. One can understand one's true identity. Tam Bhagavan Narado Varnashrama Patibhir Bharatibhi Prajabhir.
Tam Bhagavan Narado Varnashrama Vatibhir Bharatibhir Prajabhir.
Bhagavad Proktabhyam Sankhya Yogabhyam Bhagavad.
Bhagavad Proktabhyam Sankhya Yogabhyam Bhagavad.
Anubhavo Pavarnanam Savarnir Upadekshya Param Bhakti.
Anubhavo Pavarna Nam Savarne Upadeksham Mana Parama Bhakti.
Bhaveno Pasarati Idam Cha Vigranati.
Bhaveno Pasarati Idam Chabhigrinati.
In his own book known as Narad Pancharatra, Bhagwan Narad has very vividly described how to work to achieve the ultimate goal of life, devotion, through knowledge and through execution of the mystic yoga system. He has also described the glories of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The great sage Narad instructed the tenets of this transcendental literature to Savarni Manu in order to teach those inhabitants of Bharatvarsh who strictly follow the principles of Varnashram Dharma how to achieve the devotional service of the Lord. Thus Narad Muni, along with the other inhabitants of Bharatvarsh, always engages in the service of Nar Narayan, and he chants as follows. So Sukadev Goswami is speaking Narad Muni's instructions. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has clearly declared, Bharat Bhumi te haila manushya janma yar, janma sarthaka kari kara upakar, kara para upakar, para upakar. The real success or fulfillment of the mission of human life can be achieved in India, Bharatvarsh, because in Bharatvarsh, the purpose of life and the method for achieving success are evident. So Lord Chaitanya is speaking especially about India. Bharat Bhumi te haila manushya janma yar, janma sarthaka kari kara para upakar. that the goal of human life can be achieved in India, people should take advantage of this opportunity afforded by Bharatvarsh. And this is especially so for those who are following the principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Because by just being born in India, one has a natural inclination for Krishna consciousness. So, if we do not take the principles of Varnashrama Dharma by accepting the four social orders, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and the four orders of spiritual life, Brahmachari, Grahast, Vanapras, and Sannyas, there can be no question of success in life. Unfortunately, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, everything is now being lost. The inhabitants of Bharatvarsh are gradually becoming degraded, Malechas and Yavanas. How then will they teach others? So Prabhupada is pointing out, Lord Chaitanya is saying, Bharat Bhumi, Bharatvarsh, great sign of great fortune to be born there. Because one is naturally Krishna conscious, one can easily revive one's Krishna consciousness. And one can give Krishna consciousness to others. But Prabhupada is pointing out now that now gradually even inhabitants of Bharatvarsh are gradually being degraded. Then how will they become preachers? Therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement has been started, not only for the inhabitants of Bharatvarsh, but for all the people of the world. As announced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is still time. And if the inhabitants of Bharatvarsh take this movement of Krishna consciousness seriously, the entire world will be saved from gliding down to a hellish condition. So Prabhupada is saying that that's the reason he established ISKCON, so that people all over the world can come together and hear and chant about Krishna and revive one's Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness movement follows the process of Pancharatrika Vidhi and that of the Bhagavad Vidhi simultaneously, so that people can take advantage of the movement and make their lives successful. The deity worship is done according to Pancharatrika Vidhi, and Bhagavad Vidhi is the Vidhi of hearing and chanting. So Prabhupada is saying Krishna consciousness movement is following both Pancharatrika Vidhi, also Bhagavad Vidhi, and one can take advantage, become Krishna conscious, become self-realized, become successful. Any questions, comments? So one may say, well, I'm not born in India, so I don't need to bother. But well, at one point of time, this whole planet was also called Bharatvarsh. So everyone has this responsibility, especially people born in land called India. So now this is the prayers that Narad Muni is praying to Nar Narayan Rishi. Om Namo Bhagavate Upshama Shila Yo Paratanat Mayaya Namo Kinchana Vittaya Rishi Rishbhaya Nar Narayaya Paramhams Guruve Atma Ramadhipatyat Namadhipataye Namo Nama Iti.
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Upashama
Shilaya
Shilaya Paratanatmayaya Namo Kinchana Vittaya Shirishambhaya Narayanaya Paramahams Parama Gurave Atma Ramadhipatai Namo Nama Iti.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Nar Narayan, the best of all saintly persons. the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most self-controlled and self-realized. He is free from false prestige, and he's the asset of persons who have no material possessions. He's the spiritual master of all Paramhamsas, who are the most exalted human beings. And he's the master of the self-realized. Let me offer my repeated obeisances at his lotus feet. So this is Narad Muni is offering prayers to Nar Narayan Rishi. He's of understanding Nar Narayan Rishi, that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So offering obeisances at the lotus feet of Nar Narayan Rishi. Gayati Chedam.
Gayati Chedam.
Kartasya Sargadishu Yo na Bhatyate.
कर्तास्य सर्गादिषु यो न बध्यते
Na hanyate dehagato pidehike.
न हन्यते देहगतो अपि दैहिके
Drashturna Trigyasya Guner Vidushyate.
द्रष्टुर्न दृग्यस्य गुणे विदुष्यते
Tasmai Namosha Tavivek Tasakshine.
तस्मै नमो सक्तविवेक्त साक्षिणे
Narad, the most powerful saintly sage, also worships Nar Narayan by chanting the following mantra. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the master of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this visible cosmic manifestation. Yet, is completely free from false prestige. Although to the foolish persons he appears to have accepted a material body like ours, he is unaffected by bodily tribulations like hunger, thirst, and fatigue. Although he is the witness who sees everything, his senses are unpolluted by the objects he sees. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that unattached, pure witness of the world, the Supreme Soul, the Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is described as Satchit Ananda Vigraha, the body of eternity, transcendental bliss, and full knowledge. Now, in this verse, he is more fully described. Krishna is the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation, yet he is unattached to it. If we were to construct a very tall skyscraper, we would be very attached to it. But Krishna is so renounced that although he has created everything, he's not attached to anything. Na badhyate. It's true, no? If we were to create something, how attached we would get. Here, Krishna is creating the entire material world, all the planets, all the flowers, the bees, birds, living and all the living entities, the mountains, everything. Furthermore, although Krishna has his transcendental form, Satchidananda Vigraha, he is not disturbed by the bodily necessities of life, which are called dehika. For example, he is never hungry, thirsty, or fatigued. Nahanyate deha gatopi dehike. So one may think, oh, Krishna also has a body, Krishna has a form, so he must be suffering, because we suffer in our body. So we think, okay, even Krishna is having the same suffering. No, Krishna's body is different than our body. We have a material body. Krishna's body is spiritual, transcendental. So he doesn't feel thirsty or the miseries of this material world. Then again, since everything is Krishna's property, he sees everything and is present everywhere. But because his body is transcendental, he is above vision, the objects of vision, and the process of vision. When we see someone beautiful, we are attracted. The sight of a beautiful woman immediately attracts a man, and the sight of a man naturally attracts a woman. Krishna, however, is transcendental to these faults. So one may say, oh, well, we are saying here man gets attracted to woman, woman get attracted to man, but Krishna was always attracted to the gopis. But we have to understand that Krishna's position is transcendental. The gopis are his expansions, some of them. They are expansions of Srimati Radharani, and then she further expands as the gopis. Anyway, the gopis are all Krishna's energy. It's his own energy. So Krishna does not have this fault. Why? Because he's looking at his own energy. Although he's the seer of everything, he's not afflicted with faulty vision. Tadrak yasya guner vidushyate. Therefore, although he is the witness and seer, he's aloof from all affection for the activities he sees. He is always unattached and separate. He's only a witness. So everything belongs to Krishna. Everyone is Krishna's energy. And Krishna as the Paramatma, he's here witnessing everything. It's not that because he's here in the material world, Krishna becomes material. No, he's always transcendental, never becomes material, never gets covered by the modes of nature. As we say, no, the king may enter the prison, doesn't mean he's become a prisoner. Can come and go as he likes. He doesn't wear prison uniform. He's not bound by the laws of the prison. So same for Krishna. Idam hi yogeshvara yoga naipunam.
Idam hi yogeshvara yoga naipunam.
Hiranyagarbho Bhagavan Jagatayat.
Hiranyagarbho Bhagavan Jagatayat.
Yad antakale Tvainirgune mano.
Yat antakale tvayi nirgune mano.
Bhaktya dadhito chita dushkale baraha.
Bhaktya tadito chitta dushkale varaha.
O my Lord, Master of all mystic yoga, this is the explanation of the yogic process spoken of by Lord Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, who is self-realized. At the time of death, all yogis give up the material body with full detachment, simply by placing their minds at your lotus feet. That is the perfection of yoga. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Yasya samyak bhagavati jnanam bhakti stateva cha nischintastasya moksha syat sarva papa krito pitu. For one who very seriously practices devotional service during his lifetime, in order to understand the constitutional position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, liberation from this material world is guaranteed, even if he has previously been addicted to sinful habits. So Madhvacharya is saying this. Madhvacharya, great Acharya in our line. So he is saying that one who seriously engages in devotional service, trying to understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, trying to understand God in Tattva, So for him, he's going to get liberated. Even if he has previously been addicted to sinful habits. So he may before be committing sins, but right now, because he's engaged in devotional service very seriously, so he is going to get liberated. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Apichitsu duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhav sadhu eva samantavya samyagya vasito hisa. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. Bhagavad Gita 9.30. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that one may be engaged in committing sinful activities, but if he's a devotee, if he's engaging in devotional service, he's regularly, constantly hearing, chanting, worshipping the deity, remembering the Lord, then he's still considered a sadhu. He's considered a saint. One will say, but he's committing sinful activities. Why is he being called a sadhu? Because he's engaging in devotional service. Gradually, his desire for sinful activity will go away. The heart gets purified when one engages in bhakti. So the only purpose of life is to be fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and his form, pastimes, activities, and qualities. If one is able to think of Krishna in this way 24 hours a day, he is already liberated, Swarupena Vyavasthi. So what is the purpose of life? Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here the purpose. What's the purpose of life?
Devotional service towards Krishna.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Devotional service. Always remembering Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Yeah. Devotional
One
service.
example
Yeah.
for this context, even if one commits the most abominable action, can we say like how a butcher, if his income, his way of living, I mean, he is a butcher, but still after that, I mean, he's still doing devotional service. So can we bring that example in this context?
And then gradually, you mean, will he have a change of heart?
Yeah,
Gradually, he should have a change of heart. Yes.
right.
If he's engaging in devotional service, he will have a change of heart. Yeah. And that's the reason Lord Chaitanya says, wherever you go, whoever you meet, you tell them about Krishna. Because by hearing about Krishna, by chanting Krishna's names, gradually each of us will have a change of heart. And so if each of us have a change of heart, automatically the world will become a better place. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Yeah.
I was just
So
thinking, I say,
here,
like, see how it could be, right, from generation going on. So that's what his job is, right? He's a butcher. That's how he earns his
yeah,
living,
yeah. But if
right?
he's engaging in devotional service, he will stop it. He will gradually stop it.
Gradually stop.
Yeah, because the heart will get purified. One will move on higher because the consciousness gets cleaned up. So it will. Let's think of some example who got purified. We can see Mrigari the hunter. He was killing animals. Now, just by associating with Narad Muni, he could give it up. At first, he was saying he feels very happy torturing the animals and killing them in that way. By seeing Narad Muni, he had a change of heart. He agreed to listen to Narad Muni's instructions. He followed Narad Muni's instructions. He gave up his hunting, became a great devotee. Yeah.
Or Vishwamitra.
Vishwamitra, and how? How is that?
He was a Kshatriya, no? He used to fight.
And that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
became a saint.
Yeah, it's true. Kshatriya, yeah, Vishwamitra. So, whereas materialists are absorbed in material thoughts and activities, devotees, on the contrary, are always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and Krishna's activities. Therefore, they are already on the platform of liberation. So, because here we are hearing that one who is thinking of Krishna always favorably, 24 hours a day, even though he's here in the material world, he's liberated because his thoughts are always absorbed in Krishna. So he's already on the liberated platform. He's already understood, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. So that is the liberation. One has to think of Krishna with full absorption at the time of death. Then he will certainly return home back to Godhead without a doubt. Krishna says, Antakale chamam eva. One who remembers me alone when one is dying. Then one can go to the spiritual world. So always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That's what the basic principle, Vedic rules are, all to support this. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Yathe hi kamushmika kamalam
Yate hi kamushka kamalam patah.
Suteshu dareshu dhaneshu chintayan.
Suteshu dareshu dhaneshu chintayan.
Sanketa vidvan kukale varatyaya.
Sanketa vidvan kukale varatyaya.
Yastasya yatna shama eva kevalam.
Yastasya yatna shram eva.
Materialists are generally very attached to the present bodily comforts and to the bodily comforts they expect in the future. Therefore, they are always absorbed in thoughts of their wives, children, and wealth, and are afraid of giving up their bodies, which are full of stool and urine. If a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, however, is also afraid of giving up his body, what is the use of his having labored to study the Shastras? It was simply a waste of time. So Narad Muni is saying this. At the time of death, a materialist thinks of his wife and children. He is absorbed in thinking of how they will live and who will take care of them after he leaves. Consequently, he is never prepared to give up his body. Rather, he wants to continue to live in his body to serve his society, family, friends, and so on. So there was this story, that Narad Muni goes to this person, I forget his name. And he's a young man, wife and children. Narad Muni says, come with me. You're going to die. You'll die like this. You come with me. Engage you in service of God. Kailash, I think his name was. Kailash says, I'm busy. I have wife, my children. I'm very busy. I have to take care of them. Time goes. Then Narad Muni comes, come with me. No. Now my children are big, but they don't know how to maintain the money. They will lose all the money. Then he says, okay. Then one day Narad Muni comes. They're beating a snake. Oh, this was Kailash. Kailash had died. He was always so pending that he needs to take care of his home, his wife, his children, his money, that he had become a snake. And they were killing that snake. They didn't know it's the father. So we don't realize, but time With time, we have to give up this body. We don't know what next body we'll get. Whatever we are attached to, we are going to, like Kailash, he was attached to his home, wife, children, wealth. So he's born there, but his karma was not enough probably to be born as a human being. So he's born as a snake. And then they're going to kill him, and Narad Muni drags him. Now you come with me. Come, engage in devotional service. Yeah. So, therefore, by practicing the mystic yoga system, one must become detached from bodily relationships. If despite practicing bhakti yoga and studying all the Vedic literature, one is afraid of giving up his bad body, which is the cause of all his suffering, what is the use of his attempts to advance in spiritual life? So what Prabhupada is explaining is that when one engages in devotional service, one automatically becomes detached. We are actually very attached to the body. We think body is us. The most attached to is to this body. So what Prabhupada is saying, by practicing bhakti yoga, one can give up this attachment to the body. One can become fearless of death. And if we continue to be very attached, then Prabhupada is saying, what's the use of all the knowledge that you have? The secret of success in practicing yoga is to become free from bodily attachments. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Deha smriti nahi ya samsara bandhana kahata. One whose practice has freed him from the anxieties of bodily needs is no longer in conditioned life. Such a person is freed from conditional bondage. A person in Krishna consciousness must fully discharge his devotional duties without material attachment, then his liberation is guaranteed. So if one really wants to get detached from the material world, then devotional service is the path. Because the more one engages in devotional service, the more one becomes detached to the material world, to the body. So it's a long way to go, though. Not easy to give up this attachment to the body, Not easy. But if one continues in this path, it's sure to come by because it's a science. It has to happen. Has to. One simply has to engage in hearing, chanting, worshipping the deity. It will happen. Any comments, questions? Tanna prabhotvam kukale vararpitam.
Tanna prabhotam kukale vararpitam pitam.
Tvanmayayaham mamatam adhokshaja.
Tvanmayayaham mamatam adokshaja.
Vindyamayena shuvayam sudurvidam.
Vindyamayena shuvayam sudurvidam.
Vidhehi yogam tvaina swabhavamiti.
Vidhe yogam tvayina swabhavam iti.
Therefore, O Lord, O Transcendence, kindly help us by giving us the power to execute Bhakti Yoga so that we can control our restless minds and fix them upon you. We are all infected by your illusory energy. Therefore, we are very attached to the body, which is full of stool and urine, and to anything related with the body. Except for devotional service, there is no way to give up this attachment. Therefore, kindly bestow upon us this benediction. See, Narad Muni is repeating. Earlier verse also he said the body is made of stool and urine. Again he's saying made of stool and urine, but we are still so attached to it. We're really attached to this body, You see, although it's made of stool and urine, we are still so attached. And this is Maya, Krishna's illusory energy. So what's the solution? Bhakti Yoga. And this is what Narad Muni is saying. Only by engaging in devotional service can we give up the attachment to the body. Otherwise, there is no other way. The Lord advises in Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. The perfect yoga system consists of always thinking of Krishna, always engaging in devotional service, always worshipping Krishna, and always offering obeisances unto Him. Unless we practice this yoga system, our illusory attachment for this bad body, which is full of stool and urine, is impossible to give up. The perfection of yoga consists of giving up attachment for this body and bodily relationships and transferring that attachment to Krishna. We are very attached to material enjoyment. But when we transfer that same attachment to Krishna, we traverse the path of liberation. One has to practice this yoga system and none other. So here Prabhupada is quoting Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is saying, Man mana bhavad mat bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskuru. So what is that? What are the things? We are advised,
Always
instructed to do.
worshipping Krishna, always offering obeisances unto Him.
Yeah, thank you. Worshipping Krishna, offering obeisances, always engaging in devotional service, always thinking of Krishna. And in this way, one can get attached to Krishna. And then we can give up our attachment to the material world. We just simply say, oh, I want to get renounced. I want to give up all material attachment. It's not possible for the soul to become detached. The soul is conscious. So always will have some desire, always will have some attachment. We simply have to change our desire, our attachment from the material to the spiritual, from this material world to Krishna. So the more we engage in devotional service, the more we will get attached to Krishna. We have to practice it. We have to revive it. One has to practice. So one may say, oh, it should come automatically. It's there in my heart. So it should come automatically. But, well, the child has the ability to walk, yet he practices, no? It's not that he gets up, he's crawling one day, and the next day he just starts walking. No, he'll get up, he'll try to hold something, walk a bit, fall down, crawl again a bit, walk a bit. Practice is needed, although the ability is there. So for us, we are originally Krishna conscious. We have forgotten. So now we have to practice to be able to revive it. So we have to practice to always remember Krishna. In fact, the mind will run away to something material. Again, we have to bring the mind back. So this is the practice. Here, Prabhupada is again here. Practice this yoga system. Here also he's writing, practice this yoga. So this yoga, what is this yoga? Bringing the mind on Krishna, always remembering Krishna, offering obeisances to Him. And in this way, we can revive our attachment to Krishna, revive our love to Krishna. Any comments, questions?
Just remember this verse, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati.
Nice.
Only by devotional service one can come to know Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, only by devotional service. Thank you. And by understanding Krishna, what happens?
Then our attachment will be more for Him. And
Yeah.
illusory attachment will be taken off.
Yeah. And then what will happen? You can go back home.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No more attachment to the material world, because our attachment to the material world is keeping us here.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, thank you. Bhaktya Mama Vijanati. So now we are understanding why Krishna is saying engage in devotional service.
Yeah.
That's the original position of every soul, original activity of every soul. Yes, thank you so much. We'll stop here for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.